I just had to run in here and do this vlog. Right now, my mother-in-law is here, and they're all outside. Paul, Poppy, and Nancy are out front pulling weeds and stuff. It's fine. There's no problem with her today, except for the information that she gave me, which is what this vlog is about. Um, so I don't know if I've vlogged about this in the past, but we are going to Washington, D.C. this Wednesday and coming back on Friday. And on Thursday is Paul's his grandfather's funeral at Arlington National Cemetery. He's a decorated war veteran from World War II, so he's having this. He actually died back in December. He was cremated, but now is his funeral. And there has been, for over a month, there's been family emails, all the Ionati's that are going, like a group email going, discussing where should we have, should we make reservations at a restaurant, like just details of the trip, what should we do for gatherings and blah, blah, blah. And I don't, you know, this is like Paul's uncles and his cousins and his sisters and their spouses, everybody's spouses, and his father. So I have felt a little shy to like put my 2 cents in at any given time on this thread, but I started noticing that when they were discussing amongst themselves, and including me in the email, discussing hotel accommodations, that they were wanting a place with a pool because for their various children, and that they were looking into kind of upscale hotels, like where it would be, $250 a night or whatever. And Sandra even texted me at one point and was like, I'm worried that you guys aren't going to be able to afford these accommodations, which I had already been thinking. Like, I know what we can and cannot afford. Like, why does she have to be like, I'm worried that you can't afford this? So, that very day that she texted, I had been thinking, oh, I should look at a budget motel situation, like look at what Motel 6s are in the area and that kind of thing. So when she texted me a few weeks ago, like, I was like, okay, I'll look into it. And I found a place called the Inns of Virginia in Arlington, Virginia, where it was like $85 a night, and we're going to stay for 2 nights. And it's just a plain motel, like no pool or anything like that. And I sent off to this big group email from in which I had not really been contributing much, um, an email. Um, Sorry while I look for it. So this is to all the Ionatis, including Sandra. Hello, we are going to stay at the Inns of Virginia in Arlington. It's a budget motel with decent reviews, and it's near the cemetery. It's more our speed money-wise. From Allison. And then, and I don't think anyone responded to it. I remember feeling a little awkward, like, oh, okay, whatever. Um, then on April, I forget what date that was. That was in April. On April 24th, Sandra texts me personally. What is the name of the motel you are booked at? We are still trying to find an affordable place. Which I hadn't realized that they were looking for affordable places. So I wrote, Inns of Virginia, Arlington. Had decent reviews on TripAdvisor, but it seems to be pretty basic, no frills. Okay. Now, the last few days, since we've been getting closer to the trip, I've noticed that there haven't been any group emails coming in about, like, I never found out where they were all staying. It's like the discussion stopped as far as emails go. And I was slightly concerned because with DC, you mostly get around by public transportation. I guess parking is really bad, and they have a good train system. But I was thinking, like, because I'm going on a White House tour on Friday with family, and I was thinking, like, where are they staying in relation to where we're staying, and how do I figure out how to meet up with them and times? And I was just getting a little nervous about the logistics of the trip. And as far as we're planning on going to the cemetery, you have to be there at 9 in the morning on Thursday, so that's something, and we have to go by public trans. And we're going to be eating together at some big restaurant for lunch after the funeral. So that's Thursday, and then I think maybe even also on Thursday is a trip to the National Zoo, or that might be Friday. That might even be Saturday because a lot of the family are staying through the whole weekend. So I don't even know if we're going to be able to go to the zoo, but just when and how we're going to meet up. Where are they staying compared to where we're staying, basically. So this has been a little bit in the back of my mind, and I thought maybe I should like reach out, like, oh, hey, so where did you guys wind up staying? But I felt a little shy on the big group email, and I thought maybe I should text Sandra just to be like, where did you wind up choosing to stay? So today, Nancy comes over to hang out a couple hours ago, and we're sitting and chatting, and she goes, so I talked to Sandra today, and she's kind of upset with you two. Apparently you haven't communicated about your lodging, and so I just jumped in. I was like, yes, I did. Yes, I did. I did. And I went to like, I grabbed my phone was nearby. I was like, I have an email. I have a text. I did communicate about where we're staying. And then as soon as I start being like frantic, like, no, really, we did. She's like, oh, it doesn't involve me. I told her she should talk to you directly, but I don't care. And I have this insane headache now, because I don't know if I should approach her and be like, hey, your mom told me that you were upset, but I did communicate with you about where we're staying. I don't know what else I should have done. I sent an email. You and I exchanged texts. Do I need to send a screenshot of my text with her? Like, everything with her is drama and chaos. And she's very controlling. And I was talking about it briefly with Paul. I'm like, what is this? Like, I could see maybe if she forgot the email, like maybe, because there were a lot of emails between family members about different topics regarding the trip. Okay, so maybe mine fell through the cracks. But would you really forget a text exchange from just a few weeks ago, less than a month ago? Like, I would think you'd have the email and the text. Wouldn't it be, maybe you wouldn't remember the details, but you might be like, oh yeah, they're staying some budget place. Like, oh, let me look, or let me ask Allison, what was that again? Or let me just look at the emails. Like, what? But I'm not saying it was like the most memorable email and text exchange in the world, but I think it would be memorable that it had happened. And so, um, I said to Paul, like, what's the situation here? And he was like, she's crazy. I don't know. She is kind of insane. I mean, she's this surgeon. She's a surgeon. She operates on people's bones, and she makes a lot of money, and she lives in a big house, and um, her husband's a freak, and her kids, she has her kids. I don't want to say anything bad about them, but one of them's pretty annoying, the younger one. But anyway, she has what appears on paper and to the naked, at first glance to be a successful life. But I find that in all my interactions with her, that she's crazy, like jaw-grindingly, like very stressed out, very tense all the time, and always trying to put up an appearance of being like really cool, like not cool like hip, but um, happy and playful even, and humorous, and a go with the flow kind of person. And she's like the most rigid, brittle, just and just to be gossiping with your mom, and then the mom repeating it to me, and then what do I do? What position does that put me in? It's very, very uncomfortable. Whatever, it's her mom. She can say whatever the fuck she wants to her mom, but I feel kind of creeped out that Nancy repeated it to me and Paul, but then when I had a reaction, I wasn't hysterical. I was just like, no, I did said stuff. Then to be all, oh, this has nothing to do with me, backing off, like, I don't know. Paul is all for just ignoring the situation, acting like we didn't get that info. And there's some logic to that. Like she shouldn't have told us, and we're gonna act like she didn't tell us. I mean, apparently Nancy did say to Sandra, if you have a problem, you should talk to them directly. So we could just sit back and let that happen. Like there's some kind of triangulation or passive aggressive thing going on by complaining to the mom and the mom reporting to me, and then like putting me in the position of having to like approach apologetically or in what I don't know. Headache. I have a headache. I guess that's all I wanted to talk about. Thank you. I'm gonna go back outside and join them.